So I remember this one time, right? I was in school. I think I was in the 11th or 12th grade. I don't remember, right? And it was this one kid, right? And it was like a group of kids who I really think is just acquaintance because I didn't really like, they didn't attach me, they didn't attach to me as a friend, because some odd reason. But I want to tell you this little time, right? So it was like, I think it was before lunch and before fourth hour. So when it was like walking towards like upstairs, right? I was like, it was like, I don't know if it was like in the morning or was it in the afternoon? Nope, it was in the afternoon because I remember it was like lunchtime. And I don't know if it was lunchtime or we was just hanging out. I think we was just hanging out, right? In school, right? It was this boy, right? And he was telling me these videos on what he was watching, right? And I thought it was kind of strange what videos he'd be watching on YouTube or some kind of platinum show thingy he was watching, right? So I was like, he's like, oh, he was telling me some crazy little things. And only like people who think like weirdness, like people dying or something like that. I don't know if he was just explaining that he was okay of dying or something. I don't remember what was the conversation, guys. Like my brain is kind of fuzzy at this point, but somehow he was talking about death and how people get their necks slit and all about these people I don't know if he was trying to kill someone or I don't know. Some odd reason the conversation was going to that, right? And I was like, what are you talking about, Jimmy? I'm gonna pretend his name was Jimmy, right? So I was like, what are you talking about, Jimmy? What are you talking about? He's like, I watched this video, right? And this guy was getting his throat sliced, right? And I was like, why are you telling me this, Jimmy, right? He's like, I just wanted to tell you, and I was be watching these kind of movies that people getting cut up and all these else. I was like, Jimmy, is these like real kind of acts that you trying to do to other people, or are you just like watching those kind of like, I don't know if it's realistic kind of movies or shows or something like that. He's like, nah, it's just like on YouTube, or I think he said something, I don't know if he said YouTube or just like something on the, I don't know, he had something on his phone, right? And he was like, he was explaining to me, and I was like confused, like, am I really talking to a psychomaniac right now? Is he gonna be like a psycho killer in the future or something like that? So, and keep in mind, I'm a little bit older than him. I think he was like 16 and I was maybe like 17 or so, right? So he's talking about that. My brain's scrambling, like, is he gonna hurt me at any point of time? So I was like, okay, maybe I should just get out of this conversation, right? But he's like, wait, let me show you this one video. And I was like, okay, maybe he's gonna show me like, I don't know, right? So he was talking about something else, right? I don't know if he was like, I don't remember if he was talking about food or something. I don't remember. But apparently now I'm thinking about food, so I'm thinking he was talking about food. So I think he was saying something about homework, right? And then he was like, watch this video, right? It's about this guy, right? And he's like in this country, right? And I was like, okay. He's like, it's about like slavery or something like that. I don't remember what he was talking about. But he showed me a video, right? And he's like, watch the whole thing, right? So I'm watching it, and I'm like explaining to him, like, what are you talking about? What is it supposed to like tell me about? Like, what is it supposed to be about? He was like, just watch the video. So I was continuing watching it, and it was like this guy. It was like three guys, right? So it was one guy right here, and it was another guy right here, and it was one guy in the middle, right? His face was blindfolded, right? And I think he was on his knees, or maybe he was standing up. I really think he was on his knees, right? And the one of the guys had a knife, right? And I'm like, what is this supposed to be? I forgot his name, Jimmy, you know? He's like, just continue watching, you know? I was like, nothing's gonna happen with this guy with this knife, right? He's like, no, no, nothing's gonna happen, right? And I didn't see if he was smiling or anything, right? So I was watching it. The guy had the knife in the video. The guy had the knife, right? And he put it to the guy's neck. And I'm like, what is gonna happening, you know? And then the guy slit his throat, right? And it was like all blood, like rushing down, right? And I don't know if the guy fell, and I just saw blood all over the floor when I was watching the video, right? And then the video was done, and I looked at Jimmy. I was like, why would you show me this, Jimmy? He's like, that was funny, right? And I was like, Jimmy, you serious? You serious? Is this a serious video? Because if it is, it should be like, the police should be getting involved, you know? He's like, I don't know if he didn't tell me if it was a real movie, or I don't know if it was just a video, you know? So I'm like, I'm thinking it's fake, but he's insisting it is real, because I did saw the guy move around, right? So I don't think they cut it and then put it to another part, right? Or maybe they're just drawing the blood. I'm not too sure. But like, now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, was that video real, you know? I don't know if he was trying to like tell me that he wanted to do these kind of things to other people. But I was like, I distanced myself from Jimmy, because now I'm thinking he's psycho, right? So I'm like, I'm not gonna be with Jimmy anymore. Like, I'm not gonna hang out with Jimmy no more, you know, especially with the other acquaintance of friends, you know. So I was like, okay. And now think about it. After like a couple of days passed, right? He said he had a dream about me. And now I'm like thinking, like, in the dream, I was getting hurt, you know? That's what I'm assuming, you know? Like, I didn't want him to explain the dream, because then I don't know if he will get very mad at when he's telling the dream story. I don't know. But then I was like, I don't want to know what happened in his dream that involved me in his dream, you know? So I was like, I'm not gonna like ask, oh, how did I got in your dream, or what happened in your dream when I was in your dream, you know? Yeah, I didn't want to ask, because I don't want to like know what happened in the dream. Well, apparently he said he dreamed about me, so I was like, I was in his dream, but what I was doing in his dream, you know, I don't know. So I'm assuming, I don't know if he was just torturing me in his dream. I don't know. So I didn't want to ask him. But when I told this lady, she was like, "Oh, it could be like some fantasy dream or something like that." But then I was like, "If you don't know Jimmy, like I kind of know Jimmy, you know, he's kind of like a little bit psycho, so to speak." Guys, if you have like a friend like this, comment down below. I really want to know, you know. Like and subscribe to your notifications. I'll see you later. Bye.